views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program, and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
Somehow or another, we have no sound. Not sure why. Hello? Hello? I'm sorry. What a mess. Can you hear me out there? I don't know. Still no sound. Hello? Hello? We have no sound. We have no sound. How nice. We have no sound. We have all dead air. It's just me right now. Right here. One. Get another mic. That's the only thing I can think of. This is the problem with people not taking care of equipment. Hello? Hello, there we are. I hate technical difficulties. That's 3 minutes of our show I lost. Amazing how things work out. Amazing how things work out here in live TV land. But we're up and running now. It's still a mess over here because everything's wrapped around everything else, but we'll get there. I have to hold our mic today. Sorry about the problems here, and we'll see if we can correct this next time. Everything seemed to be working, although the sound seems kind of terrible. Not exactly sure why. I found out why. It's coming through crackly. I'm sorry about this. We normally don't have a show that's such a problem. But I am alone at this point in time. Chip's on his way. And, whatever can go wrong will go wrong with live TV. Once again, very sorry about that. Last night here in Fall River, there was a meeting over at the Fonseca School of a group of citizens who want to have a significant change in the Fall River's economy. And it was a relatively good show. It was actually a pretty decent showing of people. There was a good presentation. One of the people who was present, who was a city council candidate, wasn't exactly happy about some of the message that was coming through. And I could kind of understand that because he kept saying, all these people keep doing is identifying the problems. They're not identifying any solutions. So we have to say, are there solutions? I think there are. It's just a matter of finding them. But, to help anything through and to make a change in Fall River, and we've lost mics again. I can't believe this. No matter what we do, we don't have anything working right. This is absolutely crazy. Uh, I guess I'll stay with the scratchy mic. I guess I'll have to. And I've got that cranked all the way up, and we still don't have a lot of sound. Um, it was a pretty decent meeting, as I said, and that kind of worked out okay. But again, as city council candidate said, all I hear is all the negative and what our problems are. I don't hear any solutions. To that candidate, if he's watching today, and again, I'm sorry about the sound quality of the show today, you need to understand there are problems, and we have to identify the problems first, identify what tools we have to solve the problem, and then, in turn, solve the problem. We can't do that if we're not working together to make that happen. And here in Fall River, we're not doing anything to make that happen. And that, in and of itself, is a problem. People have to realize that, we do have some significant economy problems, and unless we come up with some solutions and the tools to make those solutions happen, it's not going to happen. Carlos Caesar brought that together, and there'll be another meeting, I guess, sometime next month. Carlos will have that date. Today, Chip got caught up at City Hall, at Government Center, with an IAC meeting, which has gone into overtime as usual, because, the city's got to screw us one way or the other. And Carlos is doing something at City Hall as well. And so I have no way of solving these hectic problems that we're having, and there don't seem to be any solution for them at all. And it's really tough because I have absolutely no... Oh, there we go. I'm cranking up the sound now really high so that you can hear me. But we have absolutely no way of solving these problems. And unless we work together to do it. And that's one of the things that happened yesterday. Citizens came together and showed that citizens coming together to solve a problem actually makes the problem easier to handle. Many hands make for light work. It's interesting to see how Fall River's going right now. We've had a change in government in a great number of ways, and that's what's making it more and more difficult. But I have a special report here, which I think needs to be announced. This is an important message from Dr. Puce. For those of you who don't know who Dr. Puce is the brother of the former or the late Dr. Seuss. And here's the message he sends. I do not like this Sutter man. I do not like this trash fee scam. I do not like these dirty crooks or how they lie and cook the books. I do not like when the council steals. I do not like their secret deals. I do not like this clueless man. I do not like this shared sacrifice scam. I do not like this spending spree. I am smart. I know nothing's free. I do not like their smug replies when I complain about their lies. I do not like this bullshit hope. I do not like it. Nope, nope, nope. I think it's funny. But you know what? It's true. You may not disagree with the trash fee. You may not disagree with the sanitation fee. But you know what? This talks about city government. City government at its best, and that's the sad part. And, I have it on good report, and I'm trying to find a second source on this, that the city may be facing a lawsuit on the sanitation fee and on the bag fee. Because guess what? We still don't have an ordinance governing the bag fee. We also don't have an ordinance regarding the lies that we've already heard. First lie, biannual billing. Okay, 2 bills a year for the sanitation fee, so it'd be 60 and 60. There's no ordinance for that. The city is going to bill you in the next several days. They're going to send out those bills to you. So we'll see if they're for 60 for each unit or 120. I have suspicion they're going to be for 120. Next one, bag fees. Oh, we're going to create bags for low-income people, and there'll be reduced rates. Ken Pacheco said on the air that that's not going to happen. We can't do it this year. Why? Because we have depended on that money already, and it's budgeted. So they can't do anything about that, at least this year. So guess what? You're not going to get it. So if you don't use the bags right now, they still can't fine you. They really can't do anything about it. And you have no way of solving your problem when it comes to what's happening. So think about that for a second. How much your city council, all 9 of them, all 9 have lied to you, the voter, the taxpayer of Fall River. This can't continue to happen. This has to stop. It has to stop somewhere. And we don't seem to have a solution to the problem anywhere. And why should we? Why should we even try? It's obvious that the city council and our elected officials, whether it be at the gubernatorial level, at the attorney general level, at our state representatives or our senators, care about what we want. The people of Massachusetts voted to reduce the income tax. Not going to do that. If we do that, how am I going to get my pay raise? How are my friends going to keep their high-paying jobs? We have to be serious. And this is what makes it so difficult in Fall River. Oddly enough, for any of you who read my most recent article, city officials and Amazon defraud the taxpayer, I deliberately left some information out of that, but it was picked up by the AP. Again, another story about Fall River being the crap hole that it is. The number 2 worst place in the Commonwealth to live. And oddly enough, we fall just behind New Bedford. Not much difference, though. And then you go on to the fact that you get Taunton just a little bit down the road. So you have the trifecta. New Bedford, Fall River, and Taunton. Boy, and all of this occurred during the C. Samuel Sutter administration as district attorney. Okay? Because one of the things that created this second place of the worst cities in the Commonwealth to live in was our crime rate and the prosecutions. It's truly amazing what we see. I'm hoping and praying that my co-host gets here shortly because, the show has already started out with a bang for me, that's for sure. And I'm sure Chip can pick up the slack on a lot of this. But this is what happens. This is what happens. And it happens because you, the voter, do not do anything to pick up the slack. You just don't pick up the slack. And that's where our problem lies. And it looks like Chip has finally shown up. And I'm going to try to bring him on camera here. And I'll explain to him the entire mess we've been in. Chip, we had major technical difficulties when we showed up. And we actually got a late start. We're still having some sound difficulties here in the studio. I'm not sure what mic you're on. So I'm actually going to turn them all on and
Testing.
and find out where you are.
Am I live?
So
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
I can barely hear you.
Yes, I know. It's the mics
Are you having technical difficulties?
We're having some major problems with our sound system today. And
Oh, well, I hope the audience can hear me because I have breaking news.
Yes, you're coming through loud and clear. So I'm
Breaking
hoping.
news. I just left a meeting and I was going to begin by talking about the radio this morning when our illustrious mayor has said that there's a possibility that it can be reduced but not eliminated. I am referring to the fee and the trash fee. So of course he said it can't be eliminated because we really need the money and there's only 2 ways to do it: cut jobs or keep continuing to collect taxes. Well, I disagree. There is another way. Prioritize your spending, cut the fat. There are numerous things. And based on this meeting I just left, one of the things is to get rid of all the incompetents that are on our financial team that we euphemistically call our financial team. Can you hear me in there, CJ?
Yes, I can hear you just fine.
Okay, I can barely hear you, but I am going to read you a letter that I was presented today at a meeting, the Insurance Advisory Committee meeting, from John L. Nunes, Director of Financial Services / Treasurer. In my attempt to consolidate bank accounts, we transferred $146,509 from the employee Cobra account to Citizens Bank, the employee account at Citizens Bank, to Rockland Bank and Trust during the month of May, which is right before the budget. Unfortunately, here we go, unfortunately, the transfer of these funds was made to the employer account at Rockland Bank and not the employee account. This error was discovered when the account was reconciled, and not reconciled by his office, by the way, by the girl that does the healthcare numbers in Madeline Coelho's office. So our treasurer, with all his help, would have never picked up this error. And this was right before the budget, so there's a serious question about the accuracy, as we have been saying time and time again. And this is, you know, we're leading on this story because they're still in the meeting. I had to leave the meeting to come to the show. And this is exactly the same thing they did in 1991. And that's exactly the same excuse they gave in 1991. It was just a mistake. But in 91, it was $1.5 million. And then again, in 2007 or 2008, it was $1.2 million. So my question to you, Sam, is why? How can you have a budget when none of your numbers are accurate? You falsely inflated this budget. This $146,000 was on the city side when you went to budgets and talked about numbers. And how many other numbers are inflated? Kathy Ann Viveris, there are people who said Kathy Ann Viveris has said she hid money in the healthcare account. Maybe this is some of the money she hid. And you know what that means if this was done intentionally and reported in the budget erroneously? That's malfeasance. Now we're looking at some charges, people. And this coming on the heels of Mr. Nunes announcing that they weren't going to pay their commitment to the retirement fund on time. And come on, Sam, keep telling us the budget's balanced. Keep telling us it's balanced. And today on the radio, you were talking about, the reduced bag fees. We're going to have to put together a committee or task force or group or whatever the hell you want to call it, not to determine if, not to determine if we're going to do it and what we're going to charge. They're going to check the feasibility. So again, another pack of lies before the election to make you think you're going to get a deal. Well, I'm going to put on my crystal ball here. Let me get my crystal ball from under the desk here.
Today is a day of technical difficulties.
As I peer into my crystal ball, it says that they'll ultimately find out that they can't sell the bags cheaper because we need the money. But that's just what the crystal ball said. But we know that, they've put together this crack team that can't tell an employee account from an employer account. And they've been doing this since 91. And they did assure the arbitrator in 91 that they wouldn't make this mistake again. And they continue. Error after error after error. Hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars in the wrong place, lost. I mean, come on. This is absolutely ridiculous. I want to hear the BS that we get about this one. There's no BS. It's right here in writing. Here's the letter.
Well, you know, Chip, I think what's very interesting is the fact that
You know, and I can barely hear you, but, you know, yeah, I wish your volume was up, because I know you're going to have a lot to say about this, because I'll tell you, this is just
and you see Chip,
absolutely ridiculous.
and you see Chip last on Wednesday you were saying, "Oh, it's too loud in here. Now you can't hear me."
Yeah, well, I guess they fixed it's not too loud anymore. So, you know, now it's too low, we can't hear.
Well, here's the kicker, Chip. You missed in the opening. We have a special announcement that was sent to us from our in the air, you know, on the scene people who are keeping everything. And I don't know if you have met Dr. Puce. Have you met him? That's Dr. Seuss's brother, Dr. Puce.
We're gonna need that closed caption. We're gonna have to do closed caption, because if we have problems with audio, you know, I mean, I can't make out. half
Okay,
what you're
well,
saying.
Dr. Puce said that he can no longer stand this. He sent us an important message, and he says, "I do not like this Sutter man. I do not like this trash fee scam. I do not like these dirty crooks, or how they lie and cook the books. I do not like when the council steals. I do not like their secret deals. I do not like this clueless man. I do not like this shit sacrifice scam. I do not like this spending spree. I am smart. I know nothing's free. I do not like their smug replies when I complain about their lies. I do not like this bullshit hope. I do not like it. Nope, nope, nope." I mean,
Yeah.
this is Fall River, and Ken Pacheco already said that there will be no reduction in bag fees this
Well, we
year.
have to have a study group.
Yep, but there will be
We're
no
gonna
reduction
study.
this year.
We're gonna study, because the promise will be made before the election.
Oh, of course.
That, and again, you know, as I said, but the crystal ball
Crystal ball doesn't lie.
Paul told me.
That's right.
If
Crystal-
we're not going to have it, we can't afford it, because Sam has said, how are we going to do it? Because Sam only knows, I guess that's because he's a lawyer.
Right.
They always tell you, give me a yes or no answer.
Oh, no question
You know,
about
when
it.
you're on the stand, but he says there's only two ways to handle the problems we have in Fall River: deep cuts in personnel, or money, taxes.
Well, how about a little bit
That's the only
shared
two ways
sacrifice?
to handle it. Heaven forbid that we, you know, I remember Lou, I won't live in Fall River, Pacheco saying that, I'm not gonna give these people a pay cut, because you people are too cheap to pay you $5 on this fee and a $5 on that fee. Well, guess what? I mean, if they got paid what they were worth, they'd be paid nothing. This guy has got how many assistants? You can't make a simple transfer. And I had to leave the meeting because they were supposed to come in. But this was what we said in 91. Why do we have so many accounts, and why don't they have names on it? When you go to the bank and put money in your account, you have an account number, but you also have your name on the account. So if you say, what is account, you know, 106723447-1283, they punch that number into the computer at the bank and they go, well, that's CJ Ferry's account or Bob Camara's account. Apparently the city can't do that. The city is incapable of doing it. I mean, and it's not like a one-time mistake. As I said, they've been making this mistake for over 20 years. 24 years since we filed that grievance and we brought Ernst & Young down to arbitrate. And the deposition then, it was an exact replica. The then personnel director, Sharon Skeels, told the arbitrator that it was just a mistake. You know, we took that $1.5 million of employee money and we put it in the employer account by mistake. Well, you know, the mistakes, once it's a mistake, twice it's beginning to show a pattern of incompetence or malfeasance. But 20 years worth of this stuff is inexcusable. I mean, this city is in an absolute shambles. There is no accountability. There's no consequences for incompetence. And these are the people that they were crowing about. They should get more money. We should get, well, you can, I guess you tried to give yourself a $146,000 pay raise because you slid that over. And what troubles me is this money was probably reported on the city side during the budget hearings. So I think that I may file a complaint not only about them not paying as a board member of the retirement board, not paying on time, but also by the fact that they're saying they can't afford it. And I'm going to attach this letter to saying that maybe, and I'm going to send it to the Attorney General, that it may be time to come down here and do a full and thorough investigation and the magic word, forensic audit.
Oh, no, Chip. You're saying that swear word.
You're
How
much
dare
better
you?
now, CJ. Much better. I can
you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not great, but I can hear you.
Hey,
But
guess what? We're not Verizon, okay?
That's right. And
But Chip,
the word that Sam says is criminal, but it doesn't mean criminal. It just means that you do an audit and as it applies to law. So
Right.
as we said, there are actual laws, in case they don't know it and they're running the government, about their fiduciary responsibility to protect funds and protect taxpayer money, and to go through bidding processes and to do certain things with money.
Bid? Are you crazy? You're talking about bidding? Is that like for the IT equipment, all the new computer equipment? And we're going to pay $100,000 plus a year to train people to use Windows 7 and 8, which in 2 weeks is no longer going to be the operating system of the day. It's going to be Windows 10. So we're going to pay to, again, train on old equipment and old software. Don't even get me into the bidding process, because I found out there was no bid. Because the guy who put in the bid for this, or put in the estimate, is a local provider, and he doesn't need to bid because he gets his equipment from the state contract list. You know, shovel that to somebody else, all right? This is a political hack, all right? And he's gonna nickel and dime us to death. But we're gonna pay for it, and we're gonna bond for
And we'll
that.
probably even pay for it with the employee money.
That's right. That's why you didn't get it into the employee account, because they had to pay for the computers that they need. And don't get me wrong, I know they need the computers. But this is what we call, this is the election year scam. The election year lie. You and I have seen this for years, Chip. Okay? And then you get nitwits out there who turn around and say, oh, well, if we don't pay this $10 fee, we're going to lose fire. We're going to lose police. We're going to lose school teachers. Hey, guess what? Maybe if they manage their money properly, we wouldn't have a problem with losing fire, police, or school teachers.
Sam confirmed today on the radio, and listen to the podcast, because he did say it was a study of whether the feasibility to whether they could reduce which is crap. But he clearly stated, and there are only two ways to handle this problem: deep cuts in personnel or taxes and fees. And that is absolutely incorrect, and that's why you should run him out on a rail as mayor, because he just doesn't get it. And I'm not being negative, I'm being pro-taxpayer, because there is a way to fund fire and police. That's spend your money wisely and not spend it on pay raises for people who can't put money in the proper bank account. This is absurd.
Hey,
and
Chip,
I gotta whip a quote on you quick, because everybody is miserable that I talk to.
Can I get one of those account numbers for me?
Huh?
Can I get one of those account numbers for me?
Yeah,
Put
well,
my
that's
name
what I
on it?
said at the meeting. I said, so if I gave you my checking account number, could he transfer 146 grand into my account?
Yeah,
Since none of these
I'll
numbers
take
have
that. That's for
names.
sure.
But,
Because this is ridiculous.
This Charles Darwin said this. If the misery of the poor be caused not by the laws of nature, but by our institutions, great is our sin. So there you go. Our government is the cause of our problem, our misery. And it's time to get not a broom out, like I said, a bulldozer.
No kidding. This is one of the shortest shows we've had, because like the first 5 minutes was all technical errors. Hey, thanks for watching. We'll see you on Monday, and hopefully we'll get the technical problems fixed.
Keep the faith.